Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Darwin 4081 for the Sega Mega Drive. In this 1990 shoot-'em-up from Sega, you take part in a war between planets over the life force Evol, piloting a mutating fighter ship. Which explains the whole Darwin thing with the game title, and the main gimmick of this game, evolving your spaceship. Aside from speed-ups and armor, the main power-ups you collect in this game are evolutions and mutations, which not only change the physical appearance of your ship, but also enhance its firepower, or at least in theory. To be honest, there were some later evolutions whose weapons felt a lot less useful than earlier supposedly more primitive ship forms. Like, there's this one evolution that shoots out a bunch of spread lasers that cover most of the screen, but for some reason the next upgrade sets you back to a weird looking wiggly shot that only goes straight forward. There were times where I literally avoided power-up items so I wouldn't get the wiggly dud shot. Or the spider mutation, which lays eggs to block enemy fire but clutters up the screen so much in the process that I usually ended up running into something and dying anyway. Other than that though, the upgrades are pretty sweet, especially the ultimate evolution, which is a crazy demon thing that attacks with its own afterimages and is called the Black Deem. It might be a commentary on how artificial evolution in warfare just creates monsters and death, but the Black Deem is just so cool that I don't really care. Beware though, all evolutions revert back if you go too long without collecting more power-ups, which maintains the difficulty of this game even if you're cheating with save states like me, because you aren't guaranteed to hold on to the good upgrades once you got them. The visuals in Darwin 4081 can be a bit hit or miss. Obviously the evolving ship sprites and corresponding attack animations are cool, especially considering there are so many that I didn't even get to see them all in a single playthrough, but the backgrounds can be kinda unappealing. Except for the last level with the blue and red pipes, and the stage where you fly around a circuit board and bomb computer chips. That was pretty cool. The sound design is also a mixed bag, because I like the chiptunes and explosions and power-up sounds and stuff, but they're all constantly competing with each other and cutting in and out. Also, that ear-piercing ping when you devolve is borderline painful. I may not be in my early 20s anymore, but my ears are still sensitive enough to high-frequency noises that this is basically sonic assault. The most novel aspect of Darwin 4081, aside from the evolutions, is the DNA items. Collecting DNA lets you hold on to a number of your upgrades after dying and restarting at a checkpoint, depending on how many DNAs you stocked up. This didn't really affect me personally though, because I cheated through the game with save states to simulate a one-life clear. But I like to think this game encourages cheating, since I'm using the tools at my disposal to survive an otherwise fatal situation. You know, like Darwinism. But either way, that speaks to the difficulty of this game. After the first few levels, even the checkpoint system won't save you from getting constantly smoked, mostly by ground turrets. See, while you can upgrade your airborne shot with evolutions, your ground bombs for terrestrial enemies are always pretty weak, and short range, meaning whenever you've got a lot of turrets on screen, you're bound to get shot by one while you try to line up your crosshairs with another. My favorite part of Darwin 4081 is basically every other boss fight, because they seem to alternate between brutal, annoying multi-part battles, like the disappearing green gemstones, and simple, straightforward fights with fun patterns, like the metal dragon with his parabolic brick attack. If I could change one thing here, I'd ditch the evolution timer altogether. Even when I worked really hard to get to a boss without losing a good power-up, it would usually get stripped away when the fight took too long. Overall, Darwin 4081 is a perfectly competent shoot-'em-up that tries way more novel stuff than most of its 16-bit contemporaries. And even though my ears are still bleeding from its high-frequency sound effects, and my mind is still troubled by its premonition of a monster-filled future of our own errant design, I'll never get tired of cheating through games like this, because cheaters like me are the true masters of Darwinism.